In the heart of America's wilds, three native tribes, Comanche, Iroquois, and Apache, struck terror with relentless raids and brutal vengeance, halting empires and shattering rivals. A cursed relic whispers of their unyielding spirit. How did these warriors become legends of fear? Join Frontier Chronicles to unravel a saga of savage battles, mystic rituals, and echoes that still haunt the land. Hey folks, Jake Harlan here with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the windswept Great Plains, where the Comanche, known as the Lords of the Plains, carved a terrifying legend through unmatched horsemanship and relentless brutality, per S. C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. From the 17th century, these warriors struck fear into rival tribes, Spanish settlers, and Americans, halting empires with their savage raids, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Today, we dive into the Comanche's rise, their mastery of the horse, and their demonic ferocity. A bloodied relic will spark questions. Let's ride into their deadly saga. Emerging from the Shoshone in the Great Basin, the Comanche, whose name from the Ute means, those who always want to fight, migrated to the plains by the 1600s, per Gwynn. The arrival of Spanish horses transformed them. By the 1700s, they acquired horses through trade with Pueblo tribes, exchanging buffalo hides and captives, per historical records. Comanche children rode from age 5, and warriors could fire arrows while hanging under galloping horses, per ethnographic accounts. In 1740, near the Arkansas River, they ambushed a Spanish caravan, killing 50 soldiers and stealing 200 horses, vanishing into the night, per Brown. Their war cries and speed made them seem supernatural, terrifying even Apache and Ute rivals, per Gwynn. Their raids, called Comanche Moon by Mexicans, were nightmares. In 1836, at Fort Parker, Texas, 100 Comanche warriors tricked settlers with a white flag, then slaughtered men, scalped John Parker, and impaled Granny Parker, per T.R. Fehrenbach's Comanche, The History of a People. Captives faced horrific torture, men burned alive, women assaulted, children dashed against rocks, per historical accounts. In 1840, near San Antonio, a rancher found a broken lance, etched with blood's oath. Discarded in 1855 as debris, Comanche elders claimed it marked a raid avenging a Mexican massacre, per oral histories. An elder, Shadow Claw, whispered, "The plains drink our foes' blood." How did the Comanche dominate the plains? What did that lance vow? Whose oath haunts the night? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the blood-soaked Great Plains, where the Comanche, Lords of the Plains, unleashed a reign of terror that halted empires and crushed rivals, per S. C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Last time, we saw their rise as master horsemen, striking fear with brutal raids like the 1836 Fort Parker Massacre, per T.R. Fehrenbach's Comanche, The History of a People. Today, we dive into their savage wars with Apache and Mexico, where their Comanche Moon raids left settlements in ruins and hearts gripped with dread, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. A deadly trap will spark questions. Let's ride into the nightmare. By the 1700s, the Comanche dominated the southern plains, pushing Apache tribes like the Lipan and Mescalero south into Mexico through relentless raids, per Gwynn. Their horsemanship, firing arrows while hanging under galloping horses, made them unstoppable. In 1758, near the Red River, Comanche warriors ambushed an Apache camp, killing 100 and stealing 300 horses, leaving only hoofprints and scalped bodies, per historical records. The Apache, themselves fierce, called the Comanche enemies who never sleep, per ethnographic accounts. Mexican settlers, desperate to protect northern frontiers, faced even worse. The Comanche's Comanche Moon raids, named for full moon nights when hundreds struck, devastated Chihuahua and Sonora, per Brown. In 1840, near San Miguel, 200 Comanche razed a village, killing 80 men, abducting women, and torturing captives by roasting them alive, per Fehrenbach. Their brutality was calculated. Comanche warriors, trained from youth, saw raids as paths to prestige, per Gwynn. Women, equally fierce, tortured captives with methods like sewing victims into shrinking leather, per historical accounts. In 1845, near Chihuahua, a Mexican posse chasing Comanche raiders fell into a trap, a narrow canyon where warriors triggered a rockslide, crushing 15 men, per Brown. A survivor found a shattered bow, etched with Knight's Fawn. Discarded in 1850 as rubble, Comanche elders claimed it marked a trap avenging a Spanish betrayal, per oral histories. An elder, Ghost Hoof, whispered, "The moon hides our blades." The Comanches' ability to strike, vanish, and terrify cemented their legend as untouchable demons. Why did they target Apache and Mexico so fiercely? What did that bow conceal? Whose fawn struck in the dark? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the misty forests of the Northeast, where the Iroquois Confederacy, known as the Haudenosaunee, forged a fearsome legacy through unmatched unity and brutal warfare, per Dean Snow's The Iroquois. Last time, we saw the Comanche's terrifying Comanche Moon raids crush Apache and Mexican foes, per S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Today, we dive into the Iroquois, a six-nation alliance whose strategic genius and savage raids during the Beaver Wars reshaped North America, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. A sacred ritual will spark questions, let's stalk their deadly dominion. Formed by the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later Tuscarora, the Iroquois Confederacy, or People of the Longhouse, united by the 16th century under the Great Law of Peace, per Snow. Their name, from Algonquin enemies, meant rattlesnake for their silent, lethal strikes, per ethnographic accounts. During the Beaver Wars, 1630s-1700s, they fought to control the fur trade, decimating rivals like the Huron and Susquehannock, per Brown. In 1649, near Lake Ontario, 1,000 Iroquois warriors attacked a Huron village, killing 300 and burning it to ash, their war cries echoing like death knells, per historical records. Warriors, trained from youth with bows, spears, and clubs, struck at dawn, vanishing into forests before counterattacks, per Snow. Their unity, unlike fragmented rivals, made them a juggernaut, terrifying even European settlers, per Brown. The Iroquois brutality was ritualistic. Captives faced the gauntlet, running between warriors wielding thorny sticks, often followed by torture or adoption, per ethnographic accounts. In 1653, near modern Pennsylvania, Iroquois raiders crushed a Susquehannock camp, scalping 50 and taking 20 captives, per Snow. A scout found a carved wampum belt, etched with Sky's Pact. Discarded in 1700 as a trinket, Iroquois elders claimed it sealed a war ritual invoking ancestral spirits, per oral histories. An Onondaga elder, Silent Serpent, whispered, "The sky guides our spears." Their disciplined warfare and spiritual resolve made them untouchable, shaping the Northeast's fate. How did their unity forge such terror? What did that belt bind? Whose pact struck fear? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the blood-stained forests of the Northeast, where the Iroquois Confederacy, Haudenosaunee, unleashed a reign of terror that reshaped North America during the Beaver Wars, per Dean Snow's The Iroquois. Last time, we saw their unity and lethal strikes forge a fearsome legacy, crushing rivals like the Huron, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Today, we dive into their brutal raids on the Huron and Susquehannock, where their savage tactics and psychological warfare left entire tribes trembling, per S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. A cryptic relic will spark questions, let's chase their deadly wrath. The Iroquois, uniting Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and Tuscarora, dominated the fur trade by the 1640s, driven by a hunger for beaver pelts and European goods, per Snow. Their raids targeted the Huron, a powerful Great Lakes tribe, and the Susquehannock in modern Pennsylvania, per Brown. In 1648, near modern Georgian Bay, 800 Iroquois warriors struck a Huron village at dawn, burning longhouses and killing 400, including women and children, per historical records. Survivors faced the gauntlet, a brutal ritual where captives ran between rows of warriors wielding clubs and thorns, often tortured or adopted afterward, per ethnographic accounts. The Huron, once numbering 30,000, were reduced to 10,000 by 1650, their villages ash, per snow. The Iroquois' silent approaches, moving through forests like rattlesnakes, made resistance futile, terrifying even French allies, per Brown. The Susquehannock faced similar devastation. In 1663, near the Susquehanna River, Iroquois raiders ambushed a fortified village, scalping 60 and taking 30 captives, per Snow. Their war cries and fire tactics broke enemy morale, per Gwyn. Captives endured horrific torture, some burned alive, others flayed, per historical records. In 1665, a French scout found a bone comb, etched with Shadow's Vow, near a raised Susquehannock camp. Dismissed in 1700 as a trinket, Iroquois elders claimed it marked a vow to crush enemies under ancestral spirits, per oral histories. A Seneca elder, Knight Talon, whispered, "The shadows claim our foes." The Iroquois disciplined raids and spiritual ferocity cemented their dominion, reshaping the Northeast. How did their wrath break rival tribes? What did that comb swear? Whose vow haunted the forests? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the rugged deserts of the Southwest, where the Apache, masters of guerrilla warfare, carved a terrifying legacy through silent raids and unrelenting vengeance, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Last time, we saw the Iroquois crush Huron and Susquehannock with disciplined brutality, per Dean Snow's The Iroquois. Today, we dive into the Apache's deadly dance with Mexico, where their stealth, savagery, and spiritual defiance struck fear into settlers and soldiers, per S.C. Gwyn's Empire of the Summer Moon. A cursed vow will spark questions, let's stalk their shadowed wrath. The Apache, part of the Athabascan family, roamed from the Arkansas River to northern Mexico, thriving in harsh terrains against Spanish, Mexican, and American foes, per Brown. Their guerrilla tactics, striking at dawn, vanishing into canyons, made them ghosts of the desert. In 1858, near Llanos, Mexico, 400 Mexican soldiers attacked an Apache camp while men like Geronimo traded in town, killing his wife, mother, and 3 children, per Geronimo's story of his life. Enraged, Geronimo led a 1859 raid in Sonora, ambushing a Mexican column, scalping 20 soldiers, and taking captives, per historical records. His warriors fired arrows with lethal precision from horseback, disappearing into cliffs, per Gwyn. Mexicans called them demonios de la sierra, believing they summoned spirits, per ethnographic accounts. Apache brutality was merciless. Captives faced skinning, burning, or having eyelids cut and left to die under the sun, per Brown. In 1861, near Chihuahua, a Mexican posse chased Apache raiders but stumbled into a trap. Hidden warriors triggered a rockslide, killing 12, per historical records. A survivor found a charred arrowhead, etched with Star's Curse. Discarded in 1870 as debris, Apache elders claimed it sealed a vow to avenge their fallen, per oral histories. A Chiricahua elder, Silent Flame, whispered, "The stars burn our enemies." The Apache's elusive strikes and spiritual ferocity made them untouchable, haunting Mexico's frontiers. How did their vengeance defy empires? What did that arrowhead curse? Whose flame scorched the desert? Hey folks, Jake Harlan here, wrapping up our saga with Frontier Chronicles from the heart of Native American lands, where the Comanche, Iroquois, and Apache forged legacies of terror and resilience that echo through history, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. We've tracked the Comanche's savage, Comanche Moon, raids, the Iroquois disciplined dominion in the Beaver Wars, and the Apache's ghostly vengeance, per S.C. Gwyn's Empire of the Summer Moon and Dean Snow's The Iroquois. Today, we reflect on their enduring impact, their unbreakable spirit, and whispers of their survival. A lingering curse will haunt you, let's face the final echoes. The Comanche, lords of the plains, halted Spanish and Mexican expansion for nearly a century with their unmatched horsemanship, per Gwyn. By the 1870s, American campaigns and disease reduced their numbers from 40,000 to under 10,000, yet their raids persisted into the 1880s, per Brown. Iroquois unity reshaped the Northeast, their confederacy enduring as a model of governance, influencing even the U.S. Constitution, per Snow. By the 1700s, they controlled lands from Michigan to Tennessee, though smallpox and wars shrank their power, per historical records. The Apache, shadows of the Southwest, defied Mexico and America into the 1880s, with Geronimo's 1886 surrender marking a bitter end, per Geronimo's story of his life. Yet, their guerrilla tactics inspired modern warfare, per Gwynn. Their brutality, Comanche torture, Iroquois gauntlets, Apache flayings, was a response to existential threats, per Brown. Each tribe's spiritual bond to the land fueled their defiance. Comanche revered the plains, Iroquois the longhouse, Apache the mountains, per ethnographic accounts. In 1900, near Chihuahua, a rancher found a tattered cloth, etched with "Spirit's Echo." Dismissed in 1910 as a rag, elders from all three tribes claimed it tied a vow, "Our spirits haunt the invaders," per oral histories. In 1937, a Comanche descendant was spotted in Texas, trading horses, per Gwynn. In 1948, Iroquois elders in New York preserved oral laws, per Snow. In 2025, Apache descendants honor Geronimo's defiance, per native scholarship. Did their spirits endure? What does that cloth still whisper? Whose echo stalks the land? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Frontier Chronicles.